No.
Hello. You brought a friend too.
I did.
I was just taking a nap. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Monday night rewatch of whatever Vox Machina now. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Why is he inside? Wait a minute. Why is he inside?
Because he has two faces. We were sleeping.
He's so cute. I didn't even notice that.
And now we're awake.
Oh, that's so funny. I just saw Aaron posted the cutest, reposted the cutest TikTok of this dog with the Appa suit.
Oh man.
Have you seen it? It's so cute. Yeah. It's a little tiny dog wearing the Appa suit, running around in the backyard.
It's got all 6 legs on it too. It's fantastic.
It's so cute. Anyway, hi everyone. I'm Kristina.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, it's Momo. Yeah. I do miss the Momo on your shoulder.
I know.
It's your Momo. But how are you?
Just put him back for funsies. I'm doing good. So, as an update from last week, I asked for good vibes for my little man. Where's my picture? There he is. My little man Luther. He was not feeling very well, and we were having to force feed him, but he's doing better now. He's back to normal. 3 days of having to inject food into his mouth and make him eat got him eating again. So just keep an eye on your cats. Apparently there's a thing that happens to cats sometimes where they get stuck in a loop of not wanting to eat, and then they get sick, they vomit, and their body just is like, all right, we're not going to be hungry ever again. And you have to jump start them eating. So we had to do that. And it gets, it can get bad if they don't eat because they don't drink either. So they're not eating or drinking. They can go without food for a week, but water and liquid, it's a couple days. And
it's so
it
crazy.
Bad.
You wonder, maybe it's just me. I always think about what is I'm sure there's a reason that biologically that happens to them. For some reason, somewhere there was a reason that needed to happen. But yeah, that's awful. Force feeding it's rough. I only ever had to do it one time, and it was medicine, not food. And yeah, it was terrifying. I had to wrap her up in blankets and scruff her, and it was terrible. It was awful.
He absolutely is named after DES Luther from Idris Elba's show Luther. That is 100% why he is that name, because Aaron would not let me name him Idris. I wanted to name him Idris, and Aaron would not let me. So we settled on Luther. We had to papoose him. We wrapped him in a towel so that he couldn't get his paws out. But he's a pretty chill cat. We always messed with him when he was little, so that a couple of good friends of ours used to show dogs. That was their profession. It wasn't their dogs. People would send them dogs and they would show them. Oh. And they would train them for that. So she would always have us mess with the dogs to be they need to not freak out when a stranger comes up to them and opens their mouth and looks at their teeth, because
so they're not.
So she would have us. Yeah, exactly. So she would have us do that. When we came over, she's like, "Oh yeah, I got a new dog. Go in there and pick up its paw." And she'd be like, "All right, now grab its jowl and open it so you could see his teeth." And so we started doing that with Luther just all the time. He would be sitting there and I'd just poke my finger in his mouth and open his mouth up and play with his feet and stuff so that he would get messing with him.
You tortured the poor cat.
But it made it easier to give him medicine and stuff, because now we have to give him medicine every day for his thyroid, because of course we do. You can his full name is Idris Luther Floofy Pants DeSimone, so you can absolutely call him Idris. And that is what I gave my vet as his name.
That's adorable.
Yes, because I don't fuck around. But let's see, what else was this past week? So Luther's doing great, which is good. He's back to normal, being his doofy self. I interviewed I talked about it last week, where I read the Bones Beneath My Skin. Was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it. One of the main character chose her own name, and her name is Artemis Darth Vader.
That's good.
Pretty fantastic. That is him, TJ, and these are 4 of his other books that are on there. If you look at the cover art, they look very similar, and that's because they're all done by the same cover artist. The cool thing is, though, is that they're all practically done. Like that's not a digital image or a painting. Those are miniatures.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's insane. So like the under the whispering door that's on the top right there.
Yeah.
That house is a tea house in the book. And the artist gifted him that tea house. So he has it sitting on his shelf, and it like the lights and stuff turn on inside of it. So that's really cool. He takes that those are
cool.
photos of miniatures and backgrounds that he made, that the artist made.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Really awesome dude. I had a ton of fun talking to him. There was a moment where we became best friends, reminiscing over Indiana Jones movies when we were kids. And you should be able to see the interview at the end of this month or the beginning of February, because you can pick up The Bones Beneath My Skin on February 4th from Tor.
Okay.
So this is actually a re-release because Tor enjoyed his book so much that they picked him up to do, new books, and they really enjoyed this book so much that they were like, we want to re-release it with our new platform and stuff like that. And we actually talked about that a little bit, issues that he had with his past publisher, like kind of like the business, a few business questions in the literary world, which was some interesting tidbits in there. So I hope you guys liked the interview and
allowed to do that you could republish. That's very cool. That's
it probably depends on if like who holds the rights and all that stuff. Like Brandon couldn't re-release his books for a long his Alcatraz books for a long time because Scholastic had the rights for the books. Yeah, so and he wasn't allowed to re-release them, and he didn't want to write new ones in it because he didn't want to give Scholastic the books. He didn't want to give it to them.
Has to be a crazy thing to like sell your intellectual property like that.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
It feels so strange.
Yeah, and now it's not yours anymore. You have to like give it away. But someone who doesn't do that because they publish their own books is the guest that we currently have sitting backstage, patiently waiting for us. So let's see who's back there. Oops. Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Yay! Oh,
it's Grogu! Yay!
I saw y'all had stuffed animals, so I got my little plushy friend out.
This is my little weighted guy. He's like,
he watches over me from up there when I'm writing, and I get him down when I have to kill off a character and I'm sad.
Oh, it's your emotional support, Grogu.
He is. I have about, last time I counted, 36 Grogus in this area.
That's a lot of Grogus. I love Grogu too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see. No, you can't see the one. You can see his robes. He's right there.
Yes.
You can see his feet.
I have some of the miniature ones that came out, but I haven't gotten series 5 or 6, so I need them.
Okay.
Like, I need them.
I'm gonna hang out with Momo. We'll put Momo over here. See how long he stays. So, welcome, Kristina Gruell, the author fantabulous. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Glad that speaking of, we were talking about backstage, the snow stuff, all of our 2 kids only went to school one day last week.
Yep.
Because of the weather. So they're back at school, and I was able to work all day long without having to get someone snacks
and all of the teachers are crying. They're crying at school because it's been so bad. No, today was great because all the kids are exhausted. They don't know how to school anymore because they were off for so long. So they were just like walking little zombies all day today. It'll be like Thursday, Friday, they get rough.
My middle child came home with the half dreaded, half excitable middle school band folder flyer thing. So we're gonna go to the school this Friday to see if he is interested in band and if he can tolerate the noise, because he's on the spectrum and sometimes too many sounds He wanted to give it a shot, so we're gonna.
Earplugs help. I have a couple of my students, because I teach special education and am neurospicy myself, do earplugs, and it really helps them. Yeah, or they'll just do one in like one ear of wherever they are, the instrument that's next to them, and it helps out quite a bit.
Thank you. Yeah, he wears the big headphones, off and on during school, but I didn't think of earplugs, so I'll have to give that a shot.
Yeah, they're helpful. I'm that way too. I'm very auditorily sensitive.
I am too. A lot more than I was in middle school and high school. I'm neurospicy myself.
Yeah, the tortoise that lives behind me back here, there is nothing that will set me off more than him walking around banging on the glass. Like, I quite honestly start to twitch. Like, my husband will look at me and he'll be like, okay, I'll go feed him. It's fine. I'll go feed him. I'll turn off his lights so he's quiet.
My thing is too many people talking at once.
That's mine.
That's what gets me, is when too many people are talking at once.
The way that I combat that is I have a pair of neckband headphones. And so if it's getting to me, like if I go to a convention or I'm at a store and it's really loud, I pop one of the earbuds in and turn on an audiobook. Because I can hyper focus on whoever's reading to me in my ear instead of the noise around me.
Mm-hmm.
So did I? Oh yeah, okay, I did. I posted a link to the Summerlid universe in chat. I couldn't. My mouth didn't want to say it. I wanted to say Summerland for some reason.
Gotten that one before.
Yeah, my mouth wanted to say that and it wouldn't get out the right one. But anyway, I posted a link for the Summerland universe in chat, and so the new book is a prequel, correct? That you have coming out?
Yeah, so I have a novella coming out this week that is a prequel for my brand new series, and the first book in the new series comes out on January 30th. So The novella is just like a little whet your appetite for the dragon world.
Yay. And you gave us a link that people can get the book for free, or the novella for free.
Yep. And they get the novella for free before most people.
Yay!
I'm not sharing the link wide until later this week. So
that's fun. Well, when you're ready to share it wide, make sure to let us know so that we can, share it as well on the social medias. But for everyone that's in chat and everyone watching later, I will put a link. I'll put it in the description, and go ahead and grab a free book and give it a read and see what you think. And then
I did it right now. Done and done.
Me too. So you said the new one's about dragons. Give us do you have an elevator pitch for the new one?
Yeah. So the new series is set on the world of Vesteria, and I took a break from writing, I think, for a while because of health reasons. And when I got back into it, I was thinking about the last book in the In Blood and Fire series, and there's a big thing that happens there, a big magical event. And I kind of thought to myself, what happens if a magical event has ripples that affect other worlds? And so this is what happens in book one, is a ripple from that event. So, things happened in one war, and there was, either a victory or a defeat. I'm not going to tell you. And then it broke a magical barrier in Vesteria.
Okay.
So it's kind of a re-apocalypse. In Eclipse, there's a world-shattering event, and in Dark Moon, some of what happened when the world is shattered is undone, but this formerly utopian world is now at war on all sides. And the night goddess, who has been imprisoned for 300 years, is free, but she's weakened. And
this is the Eclipse, by the way.
Yep, that's Eclipse.
I love the cover art.
Yes. Yeah, that's Zarotha and her mate Inaz. So but it's so the night goddess is free, but she's weak and she needs help. And there's an assassin that wants answers to what happened to his family, a healer who's trying to protect her own family, and a priestess whose powers are awakening for the first time because things have happened. And then there's the Rotha, who has been under mind control for 300 years, and she's pissed off because mind control is broken, and she's got some things she wants to take care of.
Okay. I could see how that might be frustrating for someone.
Yeah.
Though, what's 300 years in the life of a dragon, right?
Yeah. Or a goddess.
Or a god. Or both. You could be both, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself. I believe in you.
But yeah, I'm really excited. Like I said, I took a long break from writing and
Me too.
Publishing and doing all the things, and it's been nice to get back into the book worlds. So I'm working on the sequel for The Dark Moon, and something that my kids have been asking for a long time, which is a magic book that they can read.
Okay. That's cool. That's nice.
So a middle grade magic book.
Hey. Well, are we going to see guest author Kristina Gruell at any conventions in the coming future then?
I hope so. I've applied for a couple and just waiting to hear back.
Yay. Okay, cool. Well, I would heavily suggest Multiverse Con if you haven't applied for there yet.
Did that one.
Okay, good. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
In other news, we are going to be watching Vox Machina tonight. So, when we had you on last, I think it was for Avatar, right?
Yeah.
One of the avatars. And prior to that, you had talked about how, you hadn't watched a lot of animation and you were kind of iffy about watching Avatar. So, but you fell in love with it.
I did.
Quickly, right? Yeah. So how have you liked Vox Machina? Has your view on animation changed at all? Have you given anything else a try since then?
I haven't, mostly because I have an 8 and a 10-year-old, and fair. So my ability to watch shows that they can't watch, the amount of time that I have is pretty compact. And my husband and I have probably about a dozen different shows that we have going that we're watching together right now. So no, this is my first foray back into anime since The Last Airbender, and okay. I wasn't sure about it at first. I was, I literally turned to my husband and said, "What did Tom get me into now?" And the first half of season 1, I was not sure, and then somewhere in the middle of that, one of the characters said something that reminded me of my World of Warcraft days and raiding with a bunch of dudes that had no filters, and that just flipped a switch, and I kind of fell in love with it. My husband liked it from episode 1. He was laughing so loud, so hard that he kept having to pause the show because we couldn't hear the TV. But
is he a D&D player?
He's a big board gamer, but he's also huge into anime. We have like 3 media shelves full of his his bachelor anime days. So he really likes anime, and he's been enjoying me dabbling my toes in it.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, the fun part, the most interesting part that I find, and we've talked about this before about Vox Machina, I feel like, is the fact that it's an adaptation of a live play D&D campaign. So we've as I've said a million times, we've watched adaptations of books, adaptations of cartoons to live action to all over the place. But this was just an interesting take on adaptations, and I think the writers have done a fantastic job. Myself going into it, I had low expectations going into it, and I immediately enjoyed it as well. It took me maybe 3 or 4 episodes to be like, oh man, I really want to watch the next episode too. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first episode a lot, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then as soon as the characters really started to have some depth, is really when I took off with it.
I did D&D a little bit in my late teens, but I also, from about 14, 15, did online role play in the dark days of AOL chat rooms.
Oh God,
yeah.
Same. Been there.
So I did a lot of play by posts. What was that?
IRCs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did that for years, and then that's also how Ebony and I got close. Is we did a play-by-post Wheel of Time after the breaking of the world, and she was my keeper of the Chronicles. So a lot of the people that I'm really close with through the Wheel of Time community, we role played together.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'm
That's
old.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm old.
What Aja were you from originally?
Well, I was the Armorland seat, so I was from all Audrins of None, but I do have my green shawl tucked away in the closet, and I have a green dress that I'm going to wear to JordanCon this year.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember those very, very, very early days of like the online role playing and that whole world. It was a unique time in the world of the internet.
Yeah, it's actually what inspired my first book was a backstory for my role-playing character. And I still have it, and no one will ever see it.
Uh-oh. I think
Tom froze.
Yep. I was going to remove him and put him back on. So yeah, no, I am much like you. I watched, so Glenn, you're not old. Just stop. I watched growing up Sailor Moon. Like that was, and I think that was really like at the behest of my best friend who was really into it. And I liked Dark Crystal a little bit, but I was never like, anime was just always over here. And so when Avatar came up, I was like, this is going to be so stupid. And I never knew that it was going to like kind of take over my home and my life. Like the amount of Avatar memorabilia that is around my home now that my 3-year-old constantly steals from me is kind of awesome. And I'm in the same boat as you. This show has been a little bit harder for me to watch because I can't watch it around my kid. And so I have to like put it on my phone with my earbud in and like watch it after he goes to bed, which is a little bit hard. But
yeah, my 8-year-old walked in on us watching it and then wanted to know what a pimp was.
Okay, but here is the thing I've learned. So I'm a big proponent of like there is no such thing as bad language. Like I'm a aspiring writer myself. Like I mean I write things but I've never been published. No language is bad and they're going to hear this shit anywhere. So my husband was watching playoff football over the weekend and there was a drug commercial because we live in the US. And so of course there's a drug commercial and it goes by and I like don't even hear it. I tune that stuff out. About 3 to 5 minutes later, my 3-year-old goes, "Mommy, do I have red genitals?" I was like, "Excuse me?" Excuse me? Because one of the side effects of the drug was red genitals. So they're going to hear, things like pimp and genitals and all of that, a little bit of everywhere. So,
well, my husband's a 20-year Navy vet. So yeah, there cursing happens in our home. We've just made, and we've been through this with my oldest who just turned 21. There are appropriate times and places to use some words and there's not appropriate times and places and we just make sure that they understand that.
Yep, I have told okay guys, I am gonna restart just a second. Tom and Aaron's internet decided to just go ahead and die in the middle of all this, so I'm gonna try to multitask and talk while I restart the watch party in case he does not get back on. So give me just a second.
Do I need to leave this too?
Yeah, give me just a second. Yeah, no, I told the story a couple weeks ago. My 3-year-old overheard a conversation with his dad and I on the phone where he was like running late. And he thought that his Happy Meal order from McDonald's got messed up. And that's, tragic to a 3-year-old. Yes. And he fainted like a Victorian lady. He like fell to the ground with his hand on his forehead, real dramatic. And was like, "They messed up my goddamn Happy Meal." And I was like, you know what? You know what, friend? Like, That's not a kind word, but you used it highly appropriately. So I'm not even gonna be mad at you at this point. Not even gonna be mad.
We're in this crazy time in Texas where like the weather can't decide what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my daughter and I run hot, and we like it to be cooler in the house, and my husband and my son run colder. It's like my body can't decide if I want my my sweater on or my hair up or what's going on.
I did not realize it snowed in Texas. That's special.
We got less than an inch, which was about 3 inches less than they predicted for us, and I was fine with that.
Wait, and you guys were out of school for how many days?
We were just out of school for 2 days because
okay.
we were in the end of winter break, and they went back to school on Wednesday, and then school was canceled Thursday and Friday.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm in Kansas. We got 13 inches total where I am. And
no, thank you.
Yeah, it was a lot, I am not anti-snow. I like the snow, but that was a lot all at once for me to have to deal with.
I've been pretty anti-snow since the snowpocalypse of 2021, where we had no power for 60 hours.
Oh, that's really fun.
I've been over it since then. But my middle child was born in the middle of a blizzard, or came home from the hospital in the middle of a blizzard.
Oh, wow.
We lived in Virginia there.
Yeah. I have a cousin who lives, I can never remember, Texas is so big, who lives somewhere in Texas. And she's like, if it even thinks about snowing, things usually get shut down because they can't, nobody knows how to drive in that kind of weather.
Well, and most of the cities don't have the equipment to take care of the roads after. We get really bad black ice around here, and it gets, so it doesn't even have to snow. If the roads ice over too much, it's a no-go.
So I was going to ask, you said your husband's into anime. Does he have a favorite character?
I have no idea.
Don't know. What about you? Do you have a favorite? Who do you like?
I really liked the Avatar in the Last Airbender. I can't think of it. The girl character, but Vex is my new favorite.
Okay.
I mean, it just, like I said, it really drew me into my World of Warcraft days of, I started playing World of Warcraft when I was in my early 20s, about 8 months after the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I played back when it was a big bro dude, and they're just, the few women that played didn't out themselves as women because of the toxicity. And that's the kind of guild that I built, where women could come and we could play, and
that's awesome. I love to play video games, and that's where I struggle as a woman, is I don't play online a lot because it's just disgusting. It's so toxic. Like I would get online and play games with my nephews and even some of their little friends that would come into the game. I was like, absolutely not. Like, this is not what we're doing. It's hard to be a female gamer. I feel like that about, we talked about this last week or the week before, D&D games too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss World of Warcraft at times. It's actually how I met my husband.
Oh my God, really?
I have a sign in my bedroom. I'll send you a DM. Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn. That really sucks. Yeah, we have a sign in our bedroom that says it all began in Stormwind. Because I was recruiting for my guild, and I just cold messaged him, and he said that he always, said no to those messages. And for some reason that day he joined, and, he was like, sure, I'll give it a try. And we became best buddies instantly. And 5 years after that, I got a divorce, and there we were. Had no idea that we liked each other, and then, you know, my divorce was final, and it all came out. So,
all right, I think I have the link started. Let me. I am not smart like Tom, so I really don't know how to like lock it down so you guys can't click play. So nobody touch the play button, please. But here's the new link. I'll let everybody pull that up. Let me put it in the private chat for you too, Kristina. Yeah, this show, like I said, has been a little bit harder for me. And I've gone back and forth about who I really like. I like Percy. I'm into the emo kind of, and especially this season where he's kind of getting, I don't know if payback's the right word, but where the whole group is kind of poking at him a little bit has been really funny to watch. But I would say Scanlan on the regular makes me laugh so hard I almost pee my pants. So
I'm loving his growth. I really struggle with Bax, though. I just, every time he tries to be overprotective, I scream at him.
That's fair. Okay. I'm gonna give everybody like one more second. Glenn, I read your going back to people. Yeah, I have no desire to go play online. There's a few games that I wish I would play online because I know it would expand the world so much more. Like my favorite video game, I know I've mentioned it before, is 7 Days to Die, which is like a survival zombie apocalypse game. And like it's a whole different element when you're playing online and you're having to like hide your base from people, not just from the hordes, and protect it from like the zombie hordes that happen. But I just won't do it. People suck.
Yeah.
We're going to have Dragonmount's going to be hosting their own game servers. And I think we are going to have a 7 Days to Die game server. And so I will definitely, I'll play on there because I feel like most of our fandom is pretty awesome. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hit play. I don't have the timer, but I'll try to call out times every once in a while for everybody. Is it working for everyone? Yay. Okay, good. Anything technology based, I'm always just a little bit suspect about my ability, especially because I sold my soul to Apple a number of years ago, like a decade ago. But when I started doing this more often and wanting to like be able to play games with my friends and stuff, I got a desktop computer that is not Apple, and I feel like a 5-year-old. Like, where's the on button? How do I have to relearn how to do everything on it? It's hard.
I have to go back and forth. Some of the formatting software that I used for publishing is on my MacBook, and then everything else is on my PC. So I have to go back and forth between the two a lot.
Oh, no. So update on our fearless leader. Tom is on hold with his internet provider. Apparently their whole neighborhood is without internet all of a sudden. So 4/10 of your soul. That is wildly specific. Why only 4/10? Oh my gosh, I forgot where we left off last week.
Where he just found out he's a daddy.
Yeah, he's a daddy. That was, I was leaning that way and kind of knew that that's where it was going to go. But then once like it was fully revealed, that it kind of gave me the ick. She took it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Have you watched past where we are tonight?
Yeah, I watched the 2 episodes for tonight. I didn't want to spoiler myself.
I have not watched season 3 yet either. So I really don't know what happens next because this is so hard for me to watch. I typically get to watch these like Sunday night or something right before we do the rewatch. So I don't know where the story goes at all.
We stayed up until about almost midnight last night catching up.
Yeah, it's hard with tiny humans, especially I think, with mine, I can put him I can put him in his room and I can put him to bed. And he still has those little doorknob things, so he can't exit his room at night, but that's harder with bigger kids.
Yeah, those never worked with Manny, my 10-year-old. He figured out how to pop them off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, I am not. So I grew up in the Midwest and I was not allowed to play D&D and was not that was like the devil's work. And then as I got older and kind of got into, like, I played a lot of I'm gonna forget the name because it's Monday night. Oh, Baldur's Gate, like the original Baldur's Gate game, which I know has a lot of similarities. So I sorry, getting updates from Tom and Aaron. I really am not super familiar with it. I've looked more up now since we started watching the show, and I actually have started creating my own D&D character because I really want to play online. Like, I would feel safe in this community doing like a D&D game. Like,
oh, me too.
One shot. So, well, that's something that we're supposed to. Dragonmount is relaunching our Patreon here soon, and that's going to be one of the things that I think Tom is going to host it. That we're going to do is we're going to have like one shots for D&D, and I am so excited because I have absolutely wanted to play.
Well, it's been a long time since I've done D&D, but I'd be down.
Yeah, for sure. It should be really fun.
I love the process of creating characters.
Well, as a writer, I would think that's something that you really you're really good at. I definitely will, Glenn. I'm still kind of fleshing out my first character. What is your process? How do you are you characters first? Are you story first? Like, do you have kind of the story idea and you create the character, or does it start with like a person?
It's usually the characters first.
Okay.
You know, with my last series, parts of it came from the book that I wrote that was the backstory for my slutty vampire that I played on AOL.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I eventually kind of grew away from that, but I wanted to keep some of the elements of the world that I created. So I did that. It even kept some of the characters, you know, the tertiary characters, not the main ones.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a little bit of Lenathena, who's the main character, and her life, and the story grew from that, you know. So she was Lenathena was the third heir of a dying line and the only daughter of the family. And so the story grew from what would happen if you're one of the few ways for your family to make an alliance, you know, for your family tree to revive itself. And that the story grew from there, the world grew from there. Lithonia is very much like Victorian England.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, so it's got trains, guns, swords, and magic, which, you know, kind of made it a little more interesting because until Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn Era 2, I really liked the whole Raven matron thing. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tend to get really bogged down in the details of those things. Like, even when it was this show that was like, I want to play D&D. I want to do this. Like, I finally want to do this. And I think it's my neurospiciness. I get really overwhelmed and into those details where I can't just like go in and be like, okay, I'm going to be this class. Like, I have to know all of the different options and what those options do for me and all of the stuff. Like, I have to have all of the information before I can make the decision. And I think that affects me so much as a writer too, is I get like the story that I have that I wanted to finish writing by the time I was 40. And sadly, I turned 40 in June and that didn't happen. I have everything, I have maps, I have clothing, you know, the clothing styles, the dialects, I have, you know, the outline of the story, I have all of the characters, and the characters have pages and pages and pages and pages of backstory, but I don't have enough of the actual story because I think I get so caught in those moments because I get so emotionally attached that I have a hard time making hard decisions for characters.
I spent a lot of the year before I really started writing. I filled a notebook full of a lot of those details, and I just, you know, I need the details too. But sometimes I finally learned where in the writing process, if I come across something where I need the information, I will just put in caps, you know, figure this out later, or just a phrase to remind me of what goes there. And then I go, you know, I have about every 2 weeks, I have a day where instead of writing, I go through, check my notes, do any revisions that I need to do. And that helps.
Yeah. It's just hard. I do better. I end up starting, I think Glenn said a minute ago, like he's created thousands of characters that he like doesn't ever play or ever use. That's what I will do is just like a reboot or a reset sometimes when I get bogged down, is like go to something completely new and completely different to just kind of refocus or move my brain away from it.
I used to, you know, jump back and forth between projects when I would get stuck like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of gotten to where I limit how much I do that, because that's why it took me almost 10 years. I am a gardener.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So, Steph Green, she's a writer as well. I met her at Inkers Con last year. She has some really good quizzes on her website and some good materials that are free to help people figure out what their writing style is and how to adapt that to a skeleton draft, which is a really neat process of fleshing out your story. I highly suggest it's STEF Green. Look her up. She's got lots of really good stuff on her website.
No, that's exciting. I finally, so Jason Denzel, who started Dragonmount, has always kind of been, he pokes at me with my writing, and he got me to join a writers group here. And then of course, COVID and lockdowns and everything happens, and I tried to do things virtually for a while. And so now I'm part of a group here, but I need to find a more fantasy specific group. I feel like a lot of writers groups are very snobby when it comes to fantasy writing and things like that. And there are a couple other fantasy authors in there, but they have just not quite, they're not what I need. Like I appreciate compliments, but I am also very, you know, I'm a special education teacher, and like I understand the importance of constructive criticism. That is not criticism, but like those redirections are what help me get better, not like the good job you wrote that, good job you wrote this kind of thing. Like I need people who are actually going to push me forward a little bit.
Hello.
Hi. Why did you break the internet? Is it because Luna's not here?
No, he showed up and the internet came back.
Yay, the boss. So
he's here now.
I started the thing. I did it.
Yay.
So, but I didn't know how to lock it so other people couldn't touch the button. So I threatened them all to not touch the button.
Perfect.
So we are at 16, 33, 32, 31.
I could fix the timer for that.
Shoot me a DM, Crystal. Do you prefer Crystal or Aguina?
It doesn't matter. Crystal's fine. Okay.
If you shoot me a DM, I will invite you to the backstage of my writers group.
Oh, fun. Thank you.
Ooh,
yeah. I have a group that does writing on my Summerled Discord. So if you're a writer, you get a special role, and there's a bunch of areas where they can sprint together and they can talk shop if they've got a problem. people will post that. And then I also have my publishing server where my core team works together on stuff.
That's exciting. Thank you.
And anyone who wants to sprint with righty things can join the Summer-led universe. We love all things writing.
Tom, you left, and I had a mini panic attack trying to do things the Mac way on my computer in my haste. I was like, Alt-V, no, that doesn't work. Okay,
stop it.
I can do this. I can do this. So when I'm ready for it, it's fine. In the moment, I was like, oh, dear God.
I believe in you. We
made it. We made it without you.
I'm 2 screening, so the show's over here, and y'all are right here.
I have the multiple screens set up too. I try to keep it in one spot so I'm not looking all over the place, but that never really works out.
I have fully decided that Scanlan is probably my favorite character.
Yeah, especially these couple episodes are
great.
He goes through so much character growth in these few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Crystal that Vox is kind of my least favorite right now.
I could see that. I mean, like he goes through some interesting patches. I don't think there's
anybody that I dislike that I'm like, you annoy me on this.
Not out of the main characters for me.
No.
I enjoy all of them mostly.
His overprotective streak right now is kind of making me want to.
That's fair. One of the interesting things that I saw in an interview with what's his name? The guy that does Vax, Liam O'Brien. Mm-hmm. He said that so him and his twin sister were like connected, and you see the lady, what's her name? What do they call her? The lady of the death goddess lady that is his
the Raven matron.
The Raven, yeah. She severs this like connection, this like gold thread. There it is, right there, that he has, and it is actually his connection with his sister that she severs. So like they don't have this sense of each other anymore. And I didn't pick up on that when they did this at first. Even the 6 times I watched this episode in the last few days.
Yeah.
Glenn, this kind of tracks from what this makes sense.
Yeah, she's pretty hot too. So.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I mean, they all are.
Although I really love Pike too.
Yeah, Pike is Pike might be my favorite character because she throws like a really interesting wrench into every kind of conversation. Like she comes from the most different angle than everybody else. Like she's always got an interesting bit to lend into the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thought there. Noman Garden said bend the threads around him. Vax is Taviran.
I always imagined the Taviran kind of like that, like this like just orb of like chaos moving through like the wheel of time, and you could see all the threads kind of just like spaghettifying around them. Yeah, I his moment of realness with his daughter was really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's often the people that have the crafts, and they're just constantly jokes and jokes and jokes. They're deflecting.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They do have that tenderness underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They just don't want to share it with anybody because that's
humor.
Scary.
Humor is definitely a defense mechanism.
Absolutely.
The matron of ravens, that's what they call her.
I can't believe we're almost done with the show. I feel like this went by really, really fast.
I know. There isn't a specific, Glenn, I don't think there's a specific game. So Glenn asked if these couple episodes can be associated with a specific session.
Oh, okay.
The sessions are very long, like they're multiple hours. And
of course, the best games are.
Oh yeah. And
This is the end of my...
it's very different from the way, it played out in the well, not that the sequence of events is different and not so much the story and like the outcomes. So this is probably actually like these two episodes are multiple sessions, really, like bits taken from multiple sessions. Yeah. Or at least that's the way that, that they describe it. Like Matt Mercer said that you can't really take any one episode and apply it to one session. He's like, there'll be large bits of story that apply, but not like an entire episode that, really translates one to one.
I definitely want to make time to watch it. I've been interested enough that I want to see it.
You want to watch the live play? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Oh, absolutely. I don't think I always feel so unsatisfied if like I play a D&D session and it's like only like an hour or two. Like I always feel like
Womple.
Yeah, minimum 4 hours. I feel like is a good plot for D&D.
So I was thinking in your absence, Tom.
Oh.
We started talking about the one shots that we're going to do.
Okay.
Well, here very shortly we're going to start the rewatch of season 2, which leads us right into the start of season 3. And suddenly Dragonmount's going to be really busy. We should probably start thinking about getting some dates for those on the calendar, so we can get those booked in the midst of season 3 chaos that will be happening.
That is the plan. We will have dates on those as soon as we have the Patreon switched over, which should be happening any day. Like we should have the post up. Yeah, we should have the post up soon, like when the switchover is going to take effect. And I appreciate everyone that replied to the feedback survey, because I took a lot of the feedback that you guys gave in and I made some changes. So I think I want to thank everyone who took the time and went into that and did that survey. So thank you.
I'm just so excited. There's so many. We were talking about video games when you were gone, and like being able to play with good people from our community online will be fun.
Yep. I got the servers up and I've been testing them with so we should be good to go on that front.
It's exciting. Glenn, I'm with you. I want to it'll probably be summer, but I would like to find a D&D group, whether it's online or somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We'll figure it out.
I like the idea of the one shot, especially with how life can get busy.
Yeah. As a mom, definitely appeal to me.
There are ways to play campaigns kind of like one shots in a sense, where you can make them episodic. Like maybe instead of a grand adventuring band going on these huge adventures, you're a mercenary group and you take small jobs around an area.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like Firefly.
Yeah. And then you don't have to have the same. Games. Oh, I love Firefly.
Have you played the board game?
Yeah. The big the big one with the 12 million cards. Yeah. I love that game. Yeah. We for my wife's birthday this past year, we played with all of the expansions in our house, and that game has a large footprint. For anyone that wants to check it out, check out the I think it's Fantasy Flight games, Firefly, the tabletop board game. Fucking crazy. It's huge.
We have a 8-person dining room table in our game room that it can extend out to 10 people. And when it's just the 8-person, and
it takes up probably the whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm. We did the Kickstarter where we got all of the expansions and then the giant neoprene mat.
That's nice.
Oh wow.
We're serious about Firefly.
Oh yeah.
What's really funny is when my elderly in-laws come over and play with us.
That's fun. That's awesome. There
We
she is.
haven't
There's Pike.
figured out how my mother-in-law does it, but she just takes these little piddly jobs. You know, the rest of us go and build up our crew and get like all the good stuff for our ship. And she's just piddling around the outside of the universe, and all of a sudden she's beat us all.
The fun thing that's about that game is the scenario changes each game, so like the wind conditions change. It's kind of it's like you could play that game like a TTRPG if you wanted to. Like if you had like the people around the table just be like, yeah, let's RP it. You could easily play that game like a TTRPG, especially because everyone plays as different captains and things like that of your own ships.
I just love. I don't know. I feel like more children today are growing up with like nerdy parents who do that. Like that didn't happen as often when I was a kid. I felt like it was really rare that you had like the few parents that were really cool like that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that my son has that and that kids these days have that.
We play board games with with our younger two at least one night a week, if not 2 or 3, depending upon how life is doing. More in the summer when we don't have Cub Scouts, but
yeah, I think
there are a lot. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's so important on so many levels, like not just for fun, but like the social aspect and like learning that turn taking and patience, and then also just seeing parents have fun with things that are childlike, I think is really important for kids. Like there doesn't need this to be this huge separation. Like the fact that, my son's favorite thing to do is to steal my toys is great.
Yeah. There isn't like, you don't have this hard and fast, like, oh, that's adult and that's childish.
No, not exactly. Not at all.
You don't need to lose your childlike wonder in nature or your inner child. There you go. To be an adult.
Although my son did
the Luna cam in the corner.
It's the best. Luna's the boss. That's why he's our boss. Luna wasn't here.
Yep.
My son did go to school and tell his friends that his mommy likes to shoot wombies. So
that's fun.
I'm like, yep, sure do. Wombies.
Gotta kill all the wombies.
All the wombies with my pew pew.
Yes. 1,000 Years of Death. For our Naruto fans in the audience.
Did Thom tell you that Luna ended up getting into a book?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, I didn't know that.
I only told them about me because
Yep.
Luna also made it into the book.
Yeah. Thom ends up being part of, one of the members of the Lithonian army that gets sent to be serve under the female officers who've been training. And he wasn't too happy about it at first, but changed his tune.
Yeah. That's I've been in a couple of books, I think, now. Let's see. Wheel of Time, obviously. Then your book. Sarah Sover put me in a book.
Man, you really are a literary slut.
It's true. I am.
How many books has Luna been in, though?
Only one. Just yours. Yay. And that's it. Luna's only allowed in one. That'll be the exclusive premiere. Exactly. That'll be his exclusive debut and only book. And he's retired now. Now he just oversees my nonsense. I just let it play right into the next one like usual.
Yep.
All right, and then I can start the timer and go. Yay! Okay, the timer is aligned for those following along at home, and I will fix it so that you can see all the numbers. I don't know why it changed size for some reason.
I do say the one thing that I miss on our Monday night rewatches is getting to hear the show and hear Scanlan when he sings. But
I have the sound on just really low on my headphones so that I can hear some of the stuff. So there's a fan who goes by the name The Critter on Twitter.
Yes.
Of this show, of not of us, maybe of us, I don't know, who knows, but they're a huge fan of Vox Machina and Critical Role. They translated all of the words that appear on the screen on those pages.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
Yeah. They did I lose the page when my internet crapped out? Because I had the translations. Nope, I still have it open. Yay. It says the Legend of Scanlan Shortholt and Vox Machina.
Oh no.
It's cute that that's what he was imagining, though, in his unconscious state.
Mm-hmm.
I think it shows a lot about where his heart is.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I'm cold again.
Oh no. It's been chilly here too.
I have a heater, like that heater to the house, the vents like behind the right side of my desk. And so when it kicks on, it's glorious. And then I get too hot.
Well, I have a fan going over here so I don't get too hot.
I am a perpetual fan runner most of the time. Like I have to have moving air.
We lost power this weekend, and that's what woke me up, is that my fan wasn't going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to sweat. Well, I don't mind, like the sound doesn't bother me. Like a lot of people like fans and stuff for like the white noise.
No, for sure.
Me is just I can't sweat and go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I have to be cold when I sleep.
Yeah, I have to be freezing cold under a blanket.
When we had that power outage over the summer, like during a heat wave, like right after a thunderstorm, it was when we left and finally went and slept in my in-laws' basement. I think it was like 85 in here, which I know is not awful, but I couldn't do it. Could not do it. I could be freezing before I could be sweating.
Same. I have an autoimmune disease, and when I get hot, I start swelling, so I don't do it. I would rather be just like ice cold.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go outside in the summer here, because it's Texas and I hate it.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you.
I finally drank all my hot chocolate.
Oh no.
Okay, I was going to ask you, did I see like a little teapot? Can I see that?
Is it short and stout?
It is.
Here's your handle. Here's your spout. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I have a collection of teapots.
Same.
And I'm a tea drinker. I don't drink coffee.
Oh, I drink both because I can't do the teaching if I don't have caffeine. But I do love. I collect like tea and coffee cups, and then I have several like from antique to like Japanese. Like I have lots of different tea sets.
My grandfather gave me a couple of old collector's teapots.
Oh,
and I
cool.
have those like up in my cabinet, but we just built a new tea situation. Yes, spoonies. A tea situation, and now I have room to display some of my pots. But that's how I start my writing day every day, is I go make my pot of tea, and I have like a little trivet here and a tea cozy.
Yay.
Ooh, pretty.
That's fun.
And then I have my cup warmer on this side so that I can easily. Thom might have seen my new setup. I just recently redid my whole area and I posted it on my Facebook.
Yes. The whatchamacall, the gun that Percy has in this show has varying degrees of impact on creatures. Like I've seen him shoot, like he shot a Goliath in the last episode, and it hurt them. Like one of Grog's people, when they were fighting them before he killed the guy. And it hurt them. He just shot that dragon with it, and it knocked it off its course while it was flying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was the Colt. The Colt. The Winchester was from I mean, they're called the Winchesters, and the Winchester was the gun that was at the Winchester in Shaun of the Dead, but the gun you're thinking of is the Colt from Supernatural.
I can't think of that. I can't hear Winchester without thinking of like the Winchester Mansion in San Francisco. Have you heard about that place?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It was so fun.
Speaking of California, send out good vibes to everyone out there in California. Especially
fires are so bad.
Especially to our very own Kitty, who is not far from the fires. She can see them from her house now, and she's under a might have to evacuation order.
Oh, it's so scary.
Yeah, send good vibes her way.
Hi, Aaron. I saw Aaron in the chat.
Aaron, resident supernatural expert.
Oh yeah, we watched the shit out of that.
You know, I've never watched that one.
You've never. It's a commitment.
It's a fun show.
On my list.
It's a long.
It's very
one.
long.
It's a hard one. I tend to watch that a lot in the summer because I'm more successful in being able to like just have it on and binge it during the summer.
Fair enough.
I usually throw on Mondays is what I call my admin day. And it's the day where I get all of my newsletter, my social media, and just like the tasks that take a lot of time and a lot of brainwave.
Oh yeah.
Or the tasks that take a lot of time but no brainwave. And when I'm in like making social media graphics and scheduling, I have something up on the TV, which is right next to me.
It was 84 years that it took.
Yeah, Aaron and I, we wanted to get matching tattoos, but we didn't want to get cheesy couple matching tattoos, so we both got demon warding symbols.
Yeah, Rapunzel. We could do a like behind the scenes rewatch. I would be down to watch it again. It's been a while. I think it was before my son was born that I've been able to really watch much of it.
I will put on like season 5 and just watch from there every now and then, just because I want to have like established Dean, like when Dean is like very like he's good in the first few seasons, but he's just much funnier in the later seasons. So I just like
that's the opposite of his arc on Gilmore Girls, so that works.
True story. I love the episode where they make fun of, like, they reference the Gilmore.
Yes.
Yeah, so great. Also a big fan of Gilmore Girls. I've watched that show.
That was my comfort show for a long time, and I think it was after like the new little thing came out that I kind of stopped.
We watched it, but
I did too.
It was
I think I watched the first 2.5 of the new one, but I never finished it. I just wasn't getting the same vibe.
I had to. That was my comfort show for so long. Like I watched the whole thing. I watched it repeatedly, but it just doesn't have the same feeling.
Oh, there he goes. I've actually been watching this a bunch. Scanlan and Pike and Grog together are just very happy. Like, I really like their interactions.
My current, I have a current comfort movie and comfort show. I've been watching Big Bang Theory because I hadn't watched it in a while, and I think we've talked about it a few times.
Yeah.
Aaron, I watched that on repeat the entire time my husband was deployed.
I love that show.
So my daughter has chronic insomnia, and she was 2 when my husband left for Japan for 1.5 years. And I refused to have my TV taken over by Disney. So if she was going to stay in my room, she was going to watch what I was wanting to watch. That eventually backfired on me because by the time he came back, she knew the entire cast, like named them all. And her favorite is Lady Mary, and she's a Leo. That's so cute. When Mary would get a little, Mary-like, her Serenity's little head would pop up from the couch over the end of my bed, and she'd go, "Mama, Lady Mary, mad."
That's adorable. That is adorable. Yeah, my son
he-
also likes to watch Drag Race with me, so I'll get on kicks where like I rewatch Drag Race. I try to, you know.
I got to go to the castle.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
It was pretty awesome. You're not allowed to take pictures inside, so I didn't take my phone out inside. But
Tom, the other one I've been watching is I've watched Goodfellas like 5 or 6 times since winter break. I love that. Movie. That was for many, many years. I owned it like on DVD and things like that. And when I would move into a new place and I didn't have like internet hooked up yet because it takes a couple days, I would always just like watch.
I love West Wing too.
Goodfellas.
I love Goodfellas. I know that movie by heart too. West Wing is like literally almost like I'm pretty sure I know every single episode by heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost 100% sure I know every single episode by heart.
I also want to rewatch The Wire. We talked about that a few weeks ago, and now that's back on.
Wire's a great show.
Oh, such a good show.
I didn't like Edith in the first couple of seasons, but in season 5 and 6, and then the movies, she really grew on me. I was also the middle child who got the short shrift sometimes, and so I resonate a little bit with Edith.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The inside of the home is beautiful. Really? And it is actually a home. It's like people live there.
Wow.
We should do a Downton Abbey rewatch.
I would totally do that. Like I'll put it on the list. If people vote for it, I'll watch it. I love that show.
She did have the most growth.
Mm-hmm.
No, I lie. Tom Barrow had the most growth.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely has the most throughout the show.
There's a Tom Barrow in
Done and Done, sir.
Yep. I have a footman named Tom Barrow in my book series.
Yay.
That's fun. He becomes Corporal Barrow and is a soldier servant to one of the lords of the house.
This is a fun bit right here. So obviously we're going to get our hook for our next season in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I didn't notice when I first watched it, and then I actually had watched an interview. So 2 things. I watched an interview with Sam Riegel. So when Scanlan in the beginning of this episode, when Scanlan was telling the story in his thing, when he was reading the book to his grandkids, those were Sam Riegel's children. It was Kestrel again for her 3rd appearance, and his son Maximus, who did the voices for those 2 kids.
That is
awesome. Wow.
But our keeper Yenin, and obviously we know it's about to turn into a dragon in a second. But let me see if I have the image. I do. Yeah, here it is. Can you see her mole? Yeah. So look, she doesn't have her mole. See, she has a mole on her left cheek. It's not on this keeper Yenin. So when you'll see it in a second, she doesn't have it on her cheek. Oh, someone rewound it a little bit. It's going to pop up in a second though. Yeah, look, no mole.
Yep.
So that was their little, it was like just a little hey kind of thing if people noticed. But Sam talked about how he liked the little tidbits that were in this season and how they kind of pushed it more for the next season, like little things like that. Because he said Matt was very good at that with their writing.
Seems like we need to get a 3-way chat with me, Aaron, and Glenn about that.
Yeah.
I love Downton Abbey too. I've seen almost every episode. I've seen every episode of that. I don't know it all by heart, but I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah. I have a local friend that I met through the Outlander books, and you touched the couch. You touched it. That's awesome. And whenever the Downton Abbey movies come out, her and I go meet up at the local movie theater and go watch it together on opening day.
Oh, and this is Gina Torres does the voice of both Keeper Yenin and possessed Keeper Yenin too. I checked. Just in case people were wondering. But yes, Gina Torres of Firefly. Funny enough that we mentioned it.
I thought she looked familiar.
Yeah.
That's where my daughter got her name, right?
What's your daughter's name?
Serenity.
Oh,
Oh.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how he convinced me to have another child, is that we got to come up with a really geeky, nerdy name.
Perfect. Yeah, me too. I love Gina Torres. She was great in Suits and in The Matrix. Yep. I saw an interview with her recently where she was talking about how for a long time it was hard to get cast in anything because she's mixed Black and Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't get a role because everyone would tell her, like the casting agents were like, oh, you're not Black enough or you're not Latino enough. So for a long time, it was hard for her to get a role in anything.
Wow. I don't, Glenn.
Mr. Gina Torres? You mean
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk?
Oh, wow.
She's married to Lawrence Fishburne? I did not know that.
No, I had no idea. Wow.
That I did not know at all. That's cool. I love Lawrence Fishburne. You can only imagine the child that they'll make together. It'll be fucking whoever it is will take over the world. No, man. So that's a great hook for season 3.
Yeah.
This is like, so we'll stop the
Yes, all done.
dealio. So if people want to keep watching, go ahead, but we're done. And you have to finish our episode before you go and finish watching, before you jump into season 3 of Vox Machina. But speaking of season 3s, obviously this was our finale episode for Vox Machina. It was a great series. Though the finale did feel a little anticlimactic, even though there was a great big dragon fight. Like it just felt a little anticlimactic. Are they divorced now? Okay.
After years of reading Sanderson stuff where you have the Sanderlanche at the end, I've gotten so used to having like the big epic thing at the end of a book or a show, and it kind of feels like a letdown sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. But now I think everyone can accept that we didn't, as we normally do, we would normally put out a vote for what show we're going to watch next. But I think everyone can accept that we just kind of have to watch Wheel of Time season 2 is our next.
It also just worked out really well. Like timing wise, it was pretty perfect.
There's exactly 8 weeks from now until the week of the season 3 premiere. So like
guys,
that Monday will be the finale. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited. So we're keeping up our tradition, and Reverse BLT will be joining us for episode 1, but also Andrew from the Black Tower podcast will be there as well.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Friends,
I'm very
I'm
excited.
not gonna get a word in edgewise. I need a bullhorn and a muzzle and some stop signs and some flags. I need those flags.
like the people that direct planes on the tarmac.
Oh, the little light up like cones.
Yeah,
I can find some. It's my mission.
I wanted to make sure. I wanted to get somebody on that we haven't done the interview yet with, so I grabbed Andrew so that we can do.
Aaron's right. We did ask people, and everybody who was live that night.
That's fair.
Was in agreement. It wasn't.
Yeah, everyone was pretty much. Yeah, it wasn't just an internal thing.
There was consensus.
That's fair too. That's fair.
Yeah,
too,
we would never leave. We would never. I would have to go to bed so that I could teach the children.
Speaking of getting to do the interview with people, we get to see Kristina's answers to our fun little questions. So, just another slight recap. The interview we call our segment Inside the Dragonmount Studios as an homage to the Inside the Actors Studio show from years ago with James Lipton. So, and that's at the end of all of his interviews that he would do with the actors, he would always have like I think it was 10 questions, and he would ask the same set of questions to everybody. And I liked that idea. So we started doing it, but we changed our questions to be a little bit more, on brand for what we're doing here. So with no more ado, let's go into our segment because we're super professional now, and I'm going to click on the right one this time. welcome to
Did you
Inside
miss
the Dragonmount
an L
Studio.
on that last name?
Did it not do too? Son of a bitch. All right, so see, I got something wrong.
Hey, you said it right this time, though.
I did. Well, I just didn't want to say gruel. Like it was like I was like, is it gruel? I'm not sure. And I felt bad when I got it wrong. It's one of the things that I just repeat to myself before I go to bed. It's one of the failings that I have, and I run through all of the things that I get wrong. But I got it right this time in speech. Spelling, I'm always I can let go because I'm the worst. I can't spell anything ever, so we're good.
Yeah, I survive off of spell check, but I'm dyslexic, so.
Me too. Yeah. Anywho, we have our fun little questions for Kristina Gruell, and we're going to jump right into them. I think. Do you want to start us off tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite dinosaur and why?
Triceratops.
Aw.
Because it's my daughter's favorite, and she makes the noises whenever she has a little stuffed Triceratops, and she'll make dinosaur noises. I don't know if they're accurate, but she's super cute doing it.
They're her dinosaur noises. That's cute.
Yeah. They're accurate to her heart.
Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck. Well, that's a good one.
It is. It's the diversity of the word.
And I'm just gonna go with that. Fuck, because I wasn't allowed to say it for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got divorced, I discovered Mumford and Sons, and they have a song where that word is scream saying more than once, and that was that was kind of one of my anthems after the divorce. Is I'd play it in the car and scream, yell, fuck, because I was allowed to say it, and no one could stop me.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism. That's a good word.
Exactly.
It's the longest English word that isn't a medical word.
Yeah.
And it means to be against the not building of churches.
Well, that's kind of on par there then, because I was escaping that
church cult. Yeah. A cult.
Yeah, I was only aware. I wore skirts and long shirts and no makeup, and my hair was down to my butt.
Okay.
So
I was there too at one point.
Yeah. Now he has to wear wigs. All right. What is your least favorite word?
No.
Mm.
I don't like being told I can't do things.
Fair enough. It's a good reason.
Yeah.
Now, do you have, speaking of fuck though, do you have a favorite fantasy or fictional curse word replacement?
I really like the Wheel of Time ones. Bloody ashes and things like that. But in Blood and Fire books, it's instead of fucking, it's booking. FOOKING.
Okay.
And I like that one. But Storms is another good one from the Stormland Archives. I really like
Storms. Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice. All right. Do you have an everyday sound that you love?
The sound of the water from my hot water dispenser going into my teapot, because that means my day is like really starting. So I have a giant hot water dispenser in my little tea cabinet. So
that's awesome.
Fill up my little teapot.
And is there a sound that you dislike to hear?
It's less a sound and more multiple competing sounds, like the TV going over here and video game going over here, and people having a conversation all in a small room, like just a jumble of sounds.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Loaded.
It gets overwhelming.
Competing sounds.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the next set of questions are all going to relate to fiction. It can come from books, from video games, from comic books, from television shows, like anything within the realm of fiction. But who do you think from any realm of fiction would make the very best roommate, and why?
Elizabeth Middleton Bonner.
Okay.
Into the Wilderness.
Oh, okay.
So that's also where my daughter's second name comes from, is Elizabeth, for Elizabeth Middleton Bonner. And she is a English woman that comes over to New York, and she's a school teacher in a small village. But she likes quiet, and she likes books, and she likes writing, and she likes tea. So we would get along pretty well.
Sounds like a match made in heaven.
There you go. And who do you think would make the worst roommate?
Oh God, Matt Coffin. I mean, I love Matt, but I would not want to share a room with him. He's
that's I mean a lot of people who know Wheel of Time have had that answer.
Yeah, he would be coming in drunk and loud in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping.
Well, that kind of leads into the next question, because he's at least one of my answers to that. Is there a character from a realm of fiction that is a crush for you?
Oh God, yes. Many of them.
You have to choose just one? What?
Yeah.
Do I have to just choose one?
You can give a lineup if you'd like.
Ben Savard, also from the Wilderness series.
Okay.
My king, Lan Mandragoran.
Really?
My husband knows when I get to the end of the Wheel of Time when I'm doing a reread, because I will shout Tashar Malkir every time my king comes onto the page very loudly. Sometimes running through the house saying it. So Lan Mandragoran, let's see who else. Anything Idris Elba plays.
Yes.
It's a very attractive man.
Yeah. Yeah, I like brown men. I'm married to one, so yeah, that's I'll go with those. Those are my top three.
Okay. And now for the next one, it's like, is there a job in fantasy, or a group, or a vocation is the word that I couldn't remember, that you would want to be a part of? Like, it could be like the Jedi from the Star Wars, or Aes Sedai and Wheel of Time. Like, which one do you see yourself as a part of from any?
So I would love to be. I call myself Hazel Aja, because I like Green Aja and the fighting, in the protecting people and just being there for the last battle. But I also love research and learning. Those are like big ones. And that's one of the things that I felt was lacking in the Wheel of Time, is that the Ajas, you kind of felt so pigeonholed.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I addressed in my own series, to where, there are different subsets of the Masters of the Ithramir, but you're not just stuck to one. You pick two, basically, degrees, two things that you study. So you could be a green from the Wheel of Time if you wanted, and a brown, or you could be a healer and a warrior, or any kind of different thing. So yeah, if I was being in the Wheel of Time, I would be probably brown Aja with a green streak. But if I was going to be something from my world, I would be a keeper. And that's the people that have dominion over the royal archives where all of the secret histories are kept.
Ooh, that's
because
fun.
I love researching historical things.
Okay.
So put me in any world where I have access to all of the secret knowledge, and I'm happy.
So kind of in that same vein, what do you think would be the very worst job to have in a fictional world? Like something you would not want to do?
Anything with poop. Privies, cleaning up after animals, digging latrines. No, thank you.
Imagine having to clean up after the rake-in and the toe rake-in and the wheel.
Nope. Nope, thank you. I'm good.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Exactly, Noman Garden. The people who could heal you also know how to unheal you.
Mm-hmm. Well, gosh, we saw that. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it when it comes up on our rewatch, but we saw that in season 2 of The Wheel of Time.
Oh God,
Those yellows are scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, is there any portrayal of the afterlife from any form of fiction, comic book, movie, book, TV show, whatever you want, that you would like to be true when it is your time?
So have you ever read the Devry saga?
No.
It's a reincarnation cycle. It was actually the very first fantasy that I ever read. And the books are basically kind of in each life that you live, the things, both good and bad, that happen to you in your past life reflect on your new life. So you have a chance to make up for the things that you got wrong, and the things that you got right break bonds from previous trauma that you have. And in a small way, I kind of echo that in my own series, where everything that happens to you in life either forms connections or breaks old connections. So you can heal as you go on. You know, the trauma that you have isn't. Yes, I love The Devry Cycle by Catherine Kerr. I just realized that's you that said that. But yes, this is my very favorite. I have all the books. I actually have some signed books from Catherine Kerr.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're really good. But yeah, I like that idea that, you know, just because something bad happened to you in this life,
yeah,
you have a chance to break free of that, you know.
I like that. I mean, that's my answer to that question is usually some form of reincarnation as well, and that's usually the way I like to go too. But thank you so much for answering our questions. We like our inside our Dragonmount Studio questions, and you'll be able to catch more and more of them as I clip them out of our past episodes and putting them up in their own little playlist on YouTube, as well as TJ Kloon was kind enough to answer them for us as well. So you'll be able to, yeah. So I will be clipping this, and I am working on our backlog of our other episodes, putting in our intros for them, and editing them down so that they're not. Some of them are rather long, particularly the one. Yeah, particularly the one with that we did with Allie was like 2.5 hours.
Exactly who I was thinking of.
It was like 2.5 hours it took us to get through all 10 questions. And that's just because and it's just as much my fault as it is Allie's fault. We were just bad. We were bad. I think we were both drinking that night too.
There was a lot. That got very philosophical. That was a...
It did. But
alcohol can make anything philosophical.
You're not wrong. Whether it is or it isn't. So, but yeah, check out our YouTubes for the clips for that. There's a playlist over there. We'll be posting them as I edit them. But the TJ Kloon one should be up there when we release the main interview, because I am not responsible for editing that one. Someone else is doing it. But where are you? are you going? Do you have like a convention you're going to next, or where can people find you next? I know. So you said the book comes out on, what is it? The 20th? Which is that?
The Dark Moon comes out on January 30th, and I'm working on the sequel to the Dark Moon, which is the Blood Moon, as well as the Fairwood School of Magic. So hopefully those will be coming out in the next couple of months.
And I want to repost the link that you gave us for a free copy for everyone that is watching tonight. This is exclusive just for us in chat right now, before it gets posted wide for everybody, is a free copy of the novella for the new book that is coming out. So if you want a free novella to check out this new book, to see if you want to, pick up the whole book once it's released, check that out and give it a shot.
And if you sign up for my newsletter, my newsletter subscribers are getting access to the early pre-order price for the full novel. So if you order from my website, you get the lowest pre-order price that's out there.
That's awesome. I already put it on my Kindle. I have it ready to go.
Awesome.
Woohoo. And as always, make sure to leave reviews and stuff like that for people, for the authors when you read their books, because that is super helpful on Goodreads and on Amazon and things like that. It's very, very helpful for the authors, especially to get it's more helpful than it should be, I feel like, for the algorithms on Amazon, but it is very, very helpful.
So to answer that question, Glenn, something that's very common in indie with indie authors is one of the ways that we get people to sign up for our newsletter and also to introduce them to our books is we have something called a reader magnet, which is a short novella that is connected to the series or the universe that brings people in, because who says no to a free book? You get the free book, you read it, and then you want more of the novels. But yeah, I'm calling it a prequel because it happens 300 years before the Dark Moon, so it's pre-events of the book.
That's awesome.
There's also another novella on my website that you can get for free as well, called The Spark. That's the intro to the In Blood and Fire series, in which Tom's cat steals a fish.
Yay. I also, before we get off, I want to share a link and it's a rather big link, so bear with me, I'm sorry, but it's the only official one that I could find. So this is an official, it ended up breaking it and listing it twice. But if anyone wants to, and you have the means to do it, this is that link is for donations for the World Central Kitchen for people that need help during the fire. So they're providing food and stuff to people like victims that lost their homes and things like that, but also like the firefighters and the rescue workers that are working and things like that. So if anyone has the means to be able to donate, please consider donating. They need all the help they can get, as well as blood donations to your local blood banks and things like that. Make sure you do that. And the other one that we found is to the local humane society.
Oh gosh, you guys, the animals, it's so sad.
So many animals. So just make sure to think about doing that as well. Yeah, the WCK is always a good one to support for sure. Oh, and Erin shared the shorter link. So thank you for doing that. And before I go, I want to make sure I get your website out there one more time. We got the link to download the book, so everyone can scroll up and get that to download the book. But to see all of Kristina's books, go to the Summerland. I almost said Summerland again. The Summerlid.com. The Summerliduniverse.com, and I shared it in there.
You can also just type in my name, and it'll bring up the website as well.
Nice.
That's nice. It's nice to be able to be easily Googleable.
So, it's a German last name, and it's apparently not too common. So as far as I know, I'm the only Kristina Gruell.
Fair enough.
Yes. Good job, Erin.
Yes. I'm always terrible.
We'll get better about doing that.
Yes. Like and comment and subscribe, all of the things, hit the bell. If you enjoy our content, go over to the other platforms.
Yes.
Even though the TikTok may be gone soon, maybe not. Who knows?
Hopefully not.
Kitty is generally the one that posts over there, so she can use all of the love and good vibes that she can get. So if you want to go and haunt her social media and just send good vibe memes to her, I'm sure she would appreciate
you guys,
that.
next week we get to jump back into the Wheel of Time.
I'm
Like, can you believe we're like 8 weeks out? Like, I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
I'm getting giddy.
Look at it. Very excited.
I know.
Thank you, Glenn. That's very sweet of you.
Yay. Glenn is good people's. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out. I love all of you awesome nerds, and say goodnight, Crystal.
Good night, Crystal.